people that were helping me were missionaries, volunteer missionaries that came to Liberia at that time for a very short period. This is the whole story of the God thing, an amazing God story, how this all happened. But, so, I called them up, because it's a short ceasefire sign, a very short ceasefire, and I called them up and said, well, I'm alive. So my parents, knowing that they've just lost everything they've ever worked for, they say, well, we raised you to be our firstborn son. So, the offer is there, leave. Because the only hope of us restoring our family is you. We've lost everything else. And I'm 19. And remember, we talked till 3 in the morning that morning with my dad. And he said, literally saying, okay, the rest of the family, your success is our success. Your failure is our failure. So at 19, the rest of the family, the whole families are now on my shoulders. People come in, my young friends go, wow, that's a lot of pressure. Now that we've been prepared for firstborn, so I didn't know what that role was. It was actually a gift for me. So I'm here. I'm going to school in the U.S. as a collegiate athlete. There's all kinds of distractions of drugs and girls and everything else, and easy opportunities to be distracted. Forget about this. I mean, why me? Why do I have to be the one that has to do this? My parents are always still in the middle of the war in Liberia, and they had moved to Cameroon for a little bit as well. I'm dealing with. I found my wife in college as well. Got married and everything, but I lost all concept of what it means to leave and cleave. Not because I was partying and doing all of this crazy stuff. I was so focused on getting my parents, my family out of this mess that I put my wife probably number 4 or 5 on my list of priorities. Can't do that. So I've destroyed my marriage as well in the process of trying to do something noble. Okay? Even nobility brings us a lot of, can bring some hurt sometimes. So, but obviously, the real part of what I'm saying before today, I haven't succeeded in that journey of mine. It was a tough walk. It was a tough journey to be by myself. And all that time, there's a good portion of 8 years when I would talk to my parents about once a year, only during Christmas. It costs too much to call. And when you wrote a letter, it took about 2 to 3 years, 2 or 3 months for the letters to get to my parents. The news was dead and gone by that time. So I was saying it because I couldn't get a reminder from my dad. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Something had to keep me going. Other than hearing my dad's, instruction. You are my firstborn son that I heard for so many years. But obviously it kept resonating within me. So I say that because there's this thing in our community right now of selfish. We lack a community of men who are selfless and sacrificial. And understand that life is not about me being happy. But there's something else that's more important in life. And that's part of why there's a component of destruction and a component of righteousness that I like to describe when it comes to the concept of the firstborn son. And I want to start by just giving some statistics. And because of where you work, you may already know this. But let me just throw some things at you that are out there when it comes to what the single parent homes are doing in our community. But you have the notion, not the notion, but the fact that over 1.5 million or more births that we have in this country are to single unmarried women between the ages of about 20 to 30. And it continues to grow. All right? You have the situation of poverty. In 1995, there were nearly 6 out of every 10 children living with mothers only were near the poverty line. 45% of children raised by divorced mothers and 69% by never married mothers live in or near the poverty line, which was around $13,003 for a family of 3 living in America. You have 75% of children and adolescents in chemical dependency from single parent homes. More than half of the youth incarcerated are from single parent homes. 63% of suicide victims from single parent homes. And 75% of teenage pregnancies, for example. You had in 2008, 75% of white and non-Hispanic, 64% of Hispanic, and 35% of black children live with 2 married couples. So let's just go look at the black side, the black children, for example. Where did 65 to 70% of those children live? Single parent homes. And of that number of single parents, 65%, 96% of those were fatherless parents. We have a serious epidemic that's hurting our community. We have no idea. But I mean, you guys, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir because none of the kids here you deal with are in that statistic at all. So they're all like top kids. But I just want to call your attention to what's going on when it comes to not being able to understand this concept of the firstborn son to begin with, but what's going on in the community. And you may be asking, why are you on the firstborn son? Why not the firstborn daughter? Because, and I say it because the concept is a concept of legacy propagation. You can have a firstborn daughter that has these principles. But my father always told us, for example, that your sister is going to get married, and she's going to go help someone else make their family. Likely that maybe that husband is going to be the dominant value system in that home. She can take these principles and move them to that family and still do well with it. But when it comes to being a Bambolo, what that means, the legacy is going to be propagated by the sons, especially the firstborn son. I'm a Bambolo. I'm the one that carries that name forward. In our communities, our sons are the ones that are supposed to carry that burden forward, or that joy of being whoever we are, Johnsons, Butlers, whatever it is. So it's a generational propagation that I'm talking about to begin with. And so the foundation of what I speak about with regards to the concept of the firstborn son, if you haven't heard by now, you've heard people talk about birthrights. You have heard of a book out there about the birthright, the birth order. And most people have talked about this whole subject from the standpoint of character traits. Why are you the way you are? Because of this certain birth order. I want to put it out and say, I don't think many people have talked about the firstborn son concept, however, from the standpoint of the foundational value that it brings to our society, and our community, and our families. And so, this concept is mainly from a biblical aspect, because I'm looking at the historical foundation of what this was set out to do, that we have neglected. All right? So bear with me, and even if you don't believe the Bible is the book of life, nobody has argued that the Bible is a good book. It's only the best-selling book ever. Okay? So if nothing else, you know it's a good book. So there's some good principles in it.